Hey, Warpugs. So, Raw wanted me to check out some stuff from MikeBurnFire, and I know I say Mikefireburn, but that's because I'm an idiot. And you guys know this. Now, MikeBurnFire, the channel has a bunch of military stories, which I really can relate to. Frustration with military, with being in the military, funny stories about being in the military, all that kind of stuff. I loved my time in. I really did. I look back on it fondly, even the really, really annoying times, some of which he talks about. We talk about it now, and it's like, oh my God, how could you be like, like be nostalgic for those times? It's because, those times were, even though they were really annoying, I look back on them really fondly. I don't know why. It's probably because I'm an idiot, but it is what it is. So let's hear them talk about Katrina and ARCOM. Now, ARCOM is definitely an acronym, and I want to see what is going on. Here we go. Let's go.
I would sleep in my shop on a pretty regular basis. I would show up for work and there wouldn't be like any guns for me to work on, so I would just close the outside door to my shop and close the inside door and close the cage door and then just lie down on the floor and take a nap for a while. Sometimes I would get out of PT or like certain company functions. We have a 94th Brigade Support Battalion run coming up tomorrow. Oh no, shoot, you know what? I can't go. Delta Company needs their weapons gauged.
Yeah.
Yup. Delta Company. Weapons gauged. Yeah, I gotta be up bright and early. When is the battalion run? 5 a.m. is when I have to be at Delta Company gauging their weapons. And I would show up at Delta Company at 5 in the morning and be like, I'm supposed to gauge your weapons. They'd be like, yeah, you just did that like 2 months ago. I'd be like, yeah, I'm just gonna fall asleep in your arms room, alright?
You just straight up told him you were gonna fall asleep? Really? I can't say I ever had quite the experience you did.
I know I
was
didn't.
in the engineer support company, and I was operating the water machinery most of the time. And then the motor pool unit got deployed, and we had nobody to drive the Humvees. So I got cross-trained into motor pool.
Lovely.
So that we could move our water machinery around. And for a brief period of time, the motor pool was deployed, and they needed us to do different kinds of work. I would usually opt for the easiest of the two jobs. Oh, we need someone to drive these 7 tons around all these places. Oh, no, water support needs me to do this. Oh, we need to load up these 3 TWIPS units, these giant machines. Oh, I guess I better go to the motor pool because they need me to drive the Humvees. You know what you're going to need when you're transporting those water purification machines? Somebody to transport the troops. I'll get the 7 ton. And then motor pool came back.
Oh.
And I still...
Free ride is over.
But many of them had gotten out, and motor pool was just down to 4 or 5 people.
Oh, jeez.
So we still stuck around.
Nice.
No. Like, the amount of times that you would sit there and just like, I didn't have these kinds of stories where you could just duck getting out of things by saying you had to go do other things. The only time that I actually got to be, hyper about going somewhere, we always had to report back in. We always had to report back into the ship, and it was so annoying. Unless our division leadership was there, we always had to report back in. And if you'd sit there and you get hyped because you'd be like, oh wow, it's like 3 and I'm going to this place, I'm going off the ship to another building to go take care of some stuff. Yeah, come back after God!
Hurricane Katrina was fun.
No, it was not.
Lots of people lost their lives.
I went outside and somebody had left a PlayStation sitting outside in the rain, and I found it and I skipped it off the water. And I ruined the Chuck Taylors that I was wearing, and then I also watched the roof of the gazebo get blown away.
No.
I literally... This is how low of a point I was in my life. I had just taped all of my windows and put blankets behind them so that if the glass broke, it wouldn't shower on me while I was asleep. I had just finished doing that, and I was like, I've never been in a hurricane before. And I went and stood outside in the hurricane while there's high winds blowing and chunks of metal flying through the air, just kind of hoping that maybe a stray brick would hit me in the head so I wouldn't have to go to work tomorrow.
And then you heard from your officer's office, "Oh no, my roof just collapsed. My new cabinets are ruined." Oh, the palatable irony!
The day after Hurricane
Okay. There was a hurricane. I was stationed in Norfolk, and there was a hurricane coming up, and they were talking about getting underway, and everybody was looking back and forth at each other like they're going to call this off right. A hurricane is hitting this area in a few hours. We don't have time to get out into the open sea. None of us wanted to go. None of us wanted to go on this underway. We were just like, no. Why are we leaving port? We leave port. I don't know why and the thing about it is, it's one of those situations where you ask your higher ups, like, why are we leaving port when there's a hurricane bearing down on us? Like, why are we doing this? And every single time you ask, nobody knows what to tell you. Like, nobody knows. Like, I asked my chief, I asked my divo, I asked like 6 or 7 other people, and I was like, why are we getting underway? The seas are going to be utterly horrible. And we're not even talking about the wind yet. Everybody's just like, it's like, great, I'm not going to go up there in XXO or the sea or my webs. I'm not doing that. I'm just going to sit here and look up at the sky. Look at the sky. Look where the captain's quarters is. Look at the sky and just be like, is he serious right now? We get out of the bay and into open seas. We're out there for all of 25 to 30 minutes before we turn around and come back in. It's like, really? We're going to go out in the middle of a I can't remember if it was a category 3 or 4 hurricane. I didn't know why nobody knew why we were doing it.
Katrina, I had to help one of my friends go out in the parking lot and flip over his Volkswagen Beetle because the storm had flipped it over.
Oh my god.
Of all the things that could be flipped over, yeah, I would imagine that. Did he return the favor? Did he help you flip your car over?
My car didn't get flipped over.
Did he help you flip it anyway?
And then I also got the Humanitarian Service Award for
Yay.
aiding during the Hurricane Katrina cleanup.
Ah, because you flipped over that car.
No, I walked around post and picked up sticks.
Is that literally what got you the award?
That is what got me the award. And when they gave me the award, I tried to not accept it because I said I didn't earn this. And they said, just take the fucking award. And I went, okie dokie.
Did you ever wear it?
No, I didn't even put it on my uniform. I didn't fucking earn this. I'm not putting it on my uniform. When I got out of the military, I think I had like 4 ribbons on my uniform.
What were your 4 ribbons? One of them is obviously the National Defense ribbon.
Of course.
Yes, that one. There was the Operation Iraqi Freedom ribbon.
Yeah.
Then you also had the good cookie, I'm sure, because your good behavior.
I think I have that one too.
Good cookie, I have
Even
that
after
one.
you damaged the machinery and told your warrant officer to piss off.
I think that was pretty much it. I think I only had like those 3 ribbons.
And also the 4th one you rejected. But you still
Oh,
had...
yeah, and also the 4th one that I rejected.
I remember. This still makes me mad. This still annoys me.
I'm sorry.
I'm sure the Marines have something similar to it, but there's a thing in the Army that's the ARCOM, which is the Army Commendation Medal.
Okay.
You did something great. Here's recognition for it.
Oh, that sounds like a very nice medal to have.
I'm not sure about the Marine Corps, but in the Navy it's called the NAM, and I used to hate going to award ceremonies. I really did, because none of the guys in my division were ever getting NAMs. Nobody in weapons department ever got a NAM. If you were in supply, you got NAMs for refilling the vending machine. You had to literally save the ship from exploding to get a NAM in weapons department. That's not a joke. Oh my god, the amount of crap that you would have to do to get a NAM, it was just the most ridiculous thing ever. Supply got NAMs all the time.
You can get them for all kinds of different things. I never got one. I'm still bitter about it.
But you should have got one because...
Oh my god.
Aside from all of the work you did being the sole armorer...
Being the sole armor, when I was in Iraq, weapons are supposed to be gauged every 6 months. Every 6 months, you're supposed to make sure that everything is within spec. And if you're in combat, it's 1 year. Because you probably won't have time to gauge all the weapons.
Mm-hmm.
Well, somebody in our chain of command decided that they wanted to make it every 6 months while we were in Iraq.
Okay.
And they didn't tell me about this until a day before it was going to be up.
Lovely.
You're kidding me right now.
The only thing you can do at that point is tell them, there's not much I can do.
I'll do what I can, but I can't do a whole lot.
So you had over 800 weapons?
Over 800. I think the record was somewhere around 1,050 something weapons.
A lot of weapons.
And so I basically had to contact all of these different companies. Most of them were in our base, but a bunch of them were at little tiny COPs, Coalition Operating Post. Little tiny ones all over the place in Baghdad. In 24 hours, I gauged 1,000 some odd weapons.
My God.
I just went from our base to cop to cop to cop to cop. Half the time I was riding in other companies' vehicles that were like, oh, yeah, we're going by that area. We'll just drop you off. Yeah, pretty much. It was literally, we're going by that area and we have to stop in there for a refuel.
You were hitchhiking.
It was pretty much hitchhiking from base to base in Iraq. And I was up for over 24 hours because I would just go from one to the other and I would sleep in the vehicles in between. I would just like fall asleep in one of the Humvees in between, like going from one to the other. I somehow managed to get all of those done. I got back to my base. I am so fucking tired. I am so tired. Went back to my room and slept for about 2 hours before somebody woke me up because I needed to fix something else.
Oh, yeah, get back to your job.
Get back to your job. Why are you slacking?
Uh-huh.
I got nothing. I basically got a pat on the shoulder and a, yeah, good job, get back to work.
I bet you anything the person that was in charge of that little operation that had him doing that, they got a calm.
Now you're going to work again.
Go to work like 2 days later. Somebody fixes the air conditioning unit on the battalion commander's Humvee.
They get one.
And he gets an ARCOM for it.
That's all. All I had to do was repair the air conditioner, and that
for
was it.
something that had already been slated to be done. And the guy that fixed it got an Army Commendation Medal. And here sits Specialist Zach with absolutely nothing to show for working his ass off and gauging over 1,000 weapons in 24 hours.
Right.
Did anybody know you had done this, or was this a silent sacrifice?
I told people about it because my company was like, where's Specialist Zach? Why isn't he in the motor pool?
He's out doing gauging on weapons. He'll be back later, I guess.
Yeah.
They didn't even know.
I think a lot of it just came down to most of the time people just didn't understand what it was I did. And it still happens when I'll tell people, oh, I was the battalion armor. They'll be like, oh, so you sat in the arms room. No, I didn't sit in the arms room. I have to resort to telling people that I was the battalion gunsmith. Because if I tell people that I'm the battalion armor, they assume that I just sat in the arms room and did nothing all day.
Like, one of the things that just drove me absolutely crazy was the sheer amount of times that I would watch me and my division mates just do so much, and then you go to the award ceremony and there's just nothing for you. And we knew there was nothing for us. We might get letters. We might get letters of letter of commendation. Which a letter of commendation, that's all well and good. I've got like 7 of them. But it doesn't do anything for you. There's no ribbon for it. There's nothing else like that for it. It gives you some points for your advancement exams, but it doesn't really do that much for you. Meanwhile, the guy that stocks the vending machine, that pissed me off so bad. The guy that basically, the people in supply that were doing their jobs. That's all they had to do was their stupid jobs. They were getting medal after medal after medal every time it came up. And yet, weapons department is a desert for this.
I've known you for over a decade since your military service, and I still think that's what you do.
If the gun was broken and the guy that sits in the arms room can't fix it, I am the person that has to fix it.
At the very least, let me congratulate you. I can't give you that award, but, yeah, congratulations. I know your story now.
I accept this award on behalf of me, myself, and I.
Oh, man. Old military stories, just the bitterness of standing at the award ceremony, watching people that were just doing their basic jobs, making sure the Coke was stocked, getting NAM after NAM. Oh, God. I'm not bitter. But alright, that's MikeBurnFire's ARCOM and Katrina. Every military person I know has stories. All of us. Like, all of us do. Just where you're just sitting there just either gobsmacked by something that's happening. Like, for instance, me going, like, my ship getting underway when a hurricane was barreling up the coast. I'll never understand that. When we pulled back in and we moored up to that pier, I was just sitting there looking around like, well, that was fun. Pulling into this one port, oh my god. Oh, this one port in Africa, it was so bad. Ugh. I have stories for days, but people tell me I should make videos, but at the same time, I just don't want to. I'm doing too much other stuff as it is. In any case, guys, hope you enjoyed. Check out MikeBurnFire's links in the description down below, including my own, including my Patreon, everything else, and leave a like and comment below. I'll catch you guys next time. I'm still bitter about the Coke guy, the vending machine guy getting a NAM, and another NAM, and a third NAM before I even sniffed out one. Why?